Hi, welcome to another Sporting Communities Mental Health podcast. Sporting Communities are a community interest company. We are an ethical, non-for-profit organisation which services range from sports coaching, youth work, mentors and family support. We are a training academy delivering a range of qualifications, and we also have art and play services. Today, I am again joined by Denzel, Mim and Martine. So we'll give a quick introduction again for anyone who hasn't listened or watched before. So I'm James. I've been with Sporting Communities now for a couple of years, mainly going out into the community and delivering sports sessions for you guys. Because of the lockdown, we have been doing podcasts such as these. We also do like online youth clubs and online chat services. So basically, whenever you guys need to come on, feel like you need to talk to us, we're there for you. And we try to do these podcasts just so that you know if you're going through anything, we're all going through the same things. Basically, we know what a difficult time it is. So that's what we've been doing over the last year or so. Coming to you, Dens, for a quick introduction.
Yeah, hi guys. I'm Denzel. I've been with Sporting Communities for about 7 months now. My roles consist of being a youth engagement worker. I take part in sporting activities. I coach them. I also do our poetry and our writing sessions and competitions. And I'm also a football coach outside of Sporting Communities. And that's me in a nutshell.
Very good. Thank you, Dens. Coming to you, Martine.
Hi, my name's Martine. I've been working for Sporting Communities since last July. I've been working on the Active Youth Project. I'm also a keen runner and I run my own running club, and I work for a mental health charity.
Very good. And Mim?
Hi guys, so my name's Mim. I am a youth engagement worker for Sporting Communities, and I've been working for you guys for about 2 years now. So my role is to sort of go out into communities, engage with you lovely people at home. I'm also involved in the wraparound service in the supporting side of things, just sort of mentoring and trying to do my bit.
Very good. So for anyone who did join us last week, we spoke quite a bit about the vaccine rollout, how that was going, sort of the success that we've actually had as a country with that, and how we all felt about the vaccine. Now, last week when we spoke to you, Martine, you were telling us that your vaccine was booked in. I believe you have now had it. Was it today?
Yes, I had my vaccine today.
Very good. How did it go and how are you feeling?
I'm feeling fine. I'm feeling fine at the minute. It was fine. I got there. It was all very well organised. Big hall. Everyone well spaced out. I was in at my time when I was supposed to be. Straight in. Yeah, it all went fine.
Very good. Did you get a sticker or anything like that? I know they've been handing some out to people.
I did. They thought they'd run out and I nearly had a tantrum. But
I'll come back tomorrow when you've got some more stickers.
They found me a sticker. So, yes, I got my sticker.
Oh, very good.
My
very
little
good.
card to prove I've had it.
Do you feel a bit more relaxed? Like now it's over and done with? Do you feel a bit more at ease? More,
Yeah. Yeah, it does feel, it feels good to have had it. Yeah, it feels really good. You feel that you're doing your bit and, you're not just protecting yourself, but, you're going to be able to protect other people as well now. So, yeah, it does feel really good.
Yeah, I think it's one of them things, isn't it, that when you sort of hear on the news that 15 million people have been vaccinated, that's still well and good. But until you've been vaccinated, that 15 million doesn't mean a lot to you. So... Yeah, I think that sort of personal feeling of, I now feel safe. And like you say, you feel like you're not now going to make other people ill as well. I think that's really good. Yeah. I think the other thing, obviously, just to stress, same as last week when we were on about it, is obviously that you do have two vaccines. So I believe, will that have been booked in today for you while you were there, Martine?
Yeah, you book I got to book my second vaccine at the same time as my first one. So, yeah, they were both booked. I've got to wait now a couple of months, but I shall go to the same place and let's have the same vaccine.
Very good. Well, all being well, touch wood, you'll have no sort of side effects and stuff like that from the vaccine. I know I've sort of heard differing things from different people. Quite a few people that I know have had the vaccine now, and some Some were ill for a couple of days, some had absolutely nothing at all. So hopefully for you, it's the latter and you have no side effects at all and you're perfectly well. So, but we'll check in on that one next week and see how you're feeling, if that's all right.
Yeah, I'll let you know.
Yeah, great stuff. So the other thing that I wanted to cover with you guys this week is something that has been in the news, obviously, for the last couple of weeks, and is one of the things that obviously most people are talking about, which was the Harry and Meghan interview. Specifically, I wanted to talk about sort of the mental health aspect of that interview. I know I've got quite a few opinions of the interview myself. I don't know if I'm assuming you've all seen it. I think pretty much everyone has seen it.
Yeah, I watched it.
Yeah,
I heard something like 15 million people watched it.
Yeah, I think it was the most watched program this year or something like that. I think companies were paying crazy amounts to have adverts in the middle of it because they knew how many people were going to be watching it as well. So yeah, I must admit I sat down and watched it, and I think we all sort of made our own opinion of what was said and everything like that. But one of the things that I really wanted to stress was obviously the importance of sort of the mental health aspects that came out from the interview. So I suppose I just wanted to get your opinions on, firstly, what you thought of the interview as a whole and your opinions of sort of the mental health aspects that were raised within it. Mim, if I start with you, if that's all right.
It gets me a bit on my soapbox, I must admit. I think it's difficult when you can only sort of, I've had a lot of debate with my family about this, and I think I agree it's difficult to sort of make a judgment when you're only hearing one side of a story. However, my argument is that no matter what, if someone is sort of asking for support around their mental health, they should receive it. Full stop. Doesn't matter what the different views are and whatever, whether you're sort of in support of the royal family or not, or whatever your opinion is. I just think whoever it is, if you need support, you need support and you should receive it. So that's my view. Yeah, it's a tough one. I just think that, I don't know, it's really difficult. It's really difficult.
Just because I think ever since the interview, obviously everybody spoke about it so much and everybody puts their opinions onto others and stuff like that. If you take yourself back to the moment that program finished, what was your initial thought to sort of what you'd seen?
I felt really, really sorry for them. I think they've not received the support that they should have done. I think it must be really difficult from Meghan's standpoint that you're thrown into a situation that's so new and you're naive, like she said, you're naive to it. And I think when you're in the limelight of social media, it's difficult in itself. But when you've got that sort of status and eyes on you and attention, you should be receiving all of the support that you can get and adapting to that. And, you know, you are going to get backlash from people. So I think with that should come the support.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just feel really, really sorry for them, and I feel really sorry for the little boy as well, because actually he's being exposed to that sort of thing already, and he's not even old enough to understand it yet. So when he's of an age where he can sort of understand all of that backlash and stuff, I just hope that there has been a change in the system to support him so that he doesn't have to experience and go through what his parents have gone through. It's really sad.
Yeah, definitely. Martine, what were your opinions?
I didn't actually watch it.
Okay.
I didn't actually watch the programme itself, but
so this is interesting then. So from
I've only got what's happened since. I didn't actually watch what they said. I've only heard what's gone off in the media since.
And what are your opinions after what you've heard?
Well, I think as a society, we're always talking now about how open we are about mental health and how everyone can, you know, talk about it. And if you are struggling, you're encouraged to bring it up. And then someone like this does, and then they get a backlash from it. And it's just not, it's not a very good, you know, we shouldn't be, whether we believe anything they say or not, we should be supporting people and encouraging people to speak out. And if someone does speak out about their mental health difficulties and then they get some kind of backlash from it, then it's going to put everyone, it's going to put everything back. It's going to put everyone off talking about it.
That was exactly my point as well. It shouldn't matter sort of what your personal beliefs are. Mental health is, everyone's entitled to support and help at the end of the day. So I think it's just a shame as well that as a society, when it's too late, people are all, oh, they should have got the support they wanted. But then actually when people do speak out for that support, they don't receive it. And it just seems really unjustified to me. I don't know. It makes me angry.
Dens, what was your opinions?
My first opinions was actually I felt for their safety, and I just kept thinking about the fact that they now reside in Canada, and I was actually happy to hear that, because I just feel as though they're probably safer out there than what they are in England. And with obviously everything that happened to Harry's mother, Princess Diana, and that, there's just all these theories, and do you know what I mean? It just seems like a repeat of history. And obviously we wouldn't want it to go any deeper into that or further into what happened before. But in terms of the whole mental health side of things, obviously it just doesn't set a good standard for Great Britain in general, in terms of talking, opening up if you are struggling or you have previously struggled. And it just doesn't reflect as well, I don't think. I feel like it's almost like we're moving backwards, keep it all bottled up, because it's not going to make a difference if you do open up. And if you do open up, people aren't going to believe you, or they'll downplay it, etc., etc. Do you know what I mean? I think from what I got from it, and especially what I've heard in the media, I feel like it's almost a bit of a man-up situation, if you understand what I'm saying. Yeah. That's what some people are sort of getting at. Do you know what I mean? Because they're all princes and duchesses and potentially wealthy, etc. It's like, that doesn't mean you're untouchable. Do you know what I mean? Being rich and famous doesn't mean you're immune to depression, immune to having suicidal thoughts, and there's not things that happen around you that can still affect you. That's what I think everybody needs to understand. Just because they are who they are, they still feel the same way we do.
Yeah.
They still believe the same way we do and hurt the same way that we do. And
I think
if
that's
anything,
that's why that interview was so important as well, because it put light on the fact that actually it doesn't discriminate. Anyone can struggle with their mental health, and I think that's why it's so sad that actually the media have put a negative spin on it and sort of questioning actually how true is this, was she really struggling? Well, yeah, why shouldn't she have been? Just because she's of status, and and it's just really sad, because I think the whole outcome of that interview for the majority of people, it's been really helpful in seeing actually, it is okay to speak out, it is okay.
Well, a lot of it is obviously, I'll say it, potentially down to race, isn't it? As to why some people have reacted the way they have and disbelieve things she said. And also you'd assume it's highly likely, not saying certain, but highly likely, due to Prince Meghan's race and their son being a son to a woman of colour, is a reason as to why they've not been given security, and why Archie has not been given the title of a prince, etc. So that also comes to play in it. It's not just an attack on mental health, it's just an attack against the woman that she is, and
I have to, I'm just going to jump in, because that sort of brings on to one of the points that I was going to make, which as I was watching it, I felt appalled at the fact that obviously she'd reached out for help, Harry had reached out for help, and neither of them seemed to be getting any help that they wanted. Now, as we've all said, we've only heard one side of the story, so they may have been offered help or whatever that they didn't deem substantial, which to me is irrelevant. The point is, the help which either they were offered or weren't offered, they didn't deem acceptable. And they have decided that the only way to get out of that situation was to remove themselves from it. Now, I think that's absolutely fine. I think they're 100% right to do that, because they see that the way to protect themselves, to protect their kid, and to protect their own mental health. So I think absolutely brilliant. That's the way to do it. I think one of the points that got lost in all of this was one of the main reasons that she was massively struggling with her mental health was because of the press in this country. Now, the press in this country have absolutely destroyed her over the last few years. They've put so many negative things in the papers, on the news. Every article is negative. It's the fact that she's not doing this, or she should be doing this. But then after that interview, the press tried to pin it on someone else. So the press then pin it on the fact that, oh, well, it's because the royal family are all racist. But one of the biggest issues was the fact that the press have been putting loads of stuff in the first place that either wasn't true. I mean, there was the story about the fact that Meghan had obviously made Kate cry, which, again, I'm not saying isn't the case or whatever. We've only heard one side of the story. But the point is, in that interview, I believed what Meghan said. I believed that she said that she wasn't the person to make her cry, and actually it was the other way around. So where have the press got that story from in the first place? And if it hasn't been verified, why are they allowed to print it? This is one of the biggest problems that I think in this country. And I think going back to what Mim said, we had the whole thing, was it last year before, with Caroline Flack, where Caroline Flack was absolutely destroyed in the press. Now, the press absolutely destroyed it. If Caroline Flack was seen on a night out talking to some young lad, she didn't have to be doing anything. It would be straight on the first front page of the paper the next day, the fact that Caroline Flack had got a new toy boy and whatever, and they absolutely destroyed her. Now, Caroline Flack, sadly, then got to the stage where she felt like she had nowhere to turn. She takes her own life, and then the papers are putting loads of stuff in the paper about the fact of be nice and the fact that we should all be nice to each other. If they hadn't have posted all them stories in the first place, we wouldn't have been in that situation.
People still aren't being nice now, and that's why we've all got really passionate about this, haven't we? You can see that we're angry. No one's learning. That's the sad thing. I think the moral that I live by is be nice, be compassionate, or don't say anything at all. And I think there's a lot to be learned still, and it's just really sad that after all of what we've been through this year, you know, we've all struggled in one way or another, like we've touched on in other podcasts. We should have all grown and learnt from that actually we need to be kind to one another, and there's people still out there that still think it's acceptable to not be. I don't know.
It's sad, isn't it? It is. It's sad that like I think Martine said, someone has now reached out. She has actually come out to say, do you know what? I was really struggling, and it's okay not to be okay. And then make sure people around you that can support you. I mean, I have to say, the one person that I felt like came out of this really, really well for me was Harry. Because considering everything he's been through in his life, with, like Denz was saying about Princess Diana, the fact that he took it upon himself to go, do you know what? My family need my support right now. The thing that I need to do to support my family is, unfortunately, I need to walk away from this situation. I need to take them, and I need to take them to safety. And he did that. And the one thing that I was really happy about at the end of it, they actually look happy. Like, they look happy with each other. And when they talk about Archie and taking him down to the beach and stuff like that, like, you could hear the passion and how happy they were saying it. And I just thought, do you know what? I don't really care whether they're part of the royal family or not. I'm not a royalist or whatever. I don't care. If they're happy and their mental health is in a better place now than it was before, then let them be happy. I don't get the problem.
100%, James. 100%. Go on, Martine.
I don't think the British press is very good. I think they like to build people up and then knock them right back down again. I think they're very happy to make people into heroes and celebrities, and then when they are, they just pick on them until they knock them back down again. I was watching Frank Bruno the other week talk about his life and his mental health battles. And a lot of his mental health battles were due to the way the press treated him after he finished his boxing career.
Yeah, and I think it's a lack of knowledge in that area. unfortunately. I mean, I'm going to use him as an example, but Piers Morgan coming out the next day and saying that he thought everything that she'd said was all lies and that she'd made everything up and she'd not had any troubles. How does he know?
Yeah.
Who is he to come out and say that? Like, even if that's what you think, do you need to come out and give that opinion to everyone, knowing full well that he's on national TV in front of like millions of people, giving that view? What impression does that give to anyone who is struggling with their mental health? Because they're going to think, well, I'm not going to come forward because someone's going to think that about me.
I think the good thing...
He's a role model.
Yeah, and I think the good thing to be taken from this, like, not that you can take good from like all the bad comments and stuff, but like it puts it into perspective that actually if Meghan and Harry can get through it and they've been penalised this much, and not just by like, it's not just by one person either, it's by like the entire nation really, it just goes to show that things can be falsified to ridiculous extents and we shouldn't believe everything that we see online. And actually their eyes are on them from everyone, and if they can manage to get through it, so can we, if that makes sense. Like, they're being slated by the media, by, you know, different newspapers, their own family to an extent, and they've managed to go, do you know what, we're going to take ourselves away from this. And it's not an easy thing to do, like when it's your family as well, do you know what I mean? And they're in the limelight like that. So I don't know, the point I'm trying to make, I guess, is that like we can all get away from it if we want to, and we shouldn't feel afraid to do that because they've managed to do it. And
it boils down to choice, I think. We, at the end of the day, we choose who the people that we speak to, we choose the people that we confide in, we choose what we choose every day when we get up. We make choices. We make choices as to what we're going to do that day and everything like that. And I think they felt like at times in obviously their life, they felt like they'd had choice taken away from them. And I think by doing what they've done, they've taken their choice back.
Yeah, and also that the media choose to publish, they have the choice to publish what they want people to believe as well. I think that was the point I was trying to make before, that actually we shouldn't believe everything we see, and it is a choice. And the fact that they, who have got the whole nation looking at them, they've managed to get away from that. If you're struggling at home, you can do that too. Like, if you guys watching at home, you know, make that choice, be brave and take yourself away from it, because they've managed to do that and they've got the whole nation looking at them. So it must have been really, not that it's more difficult for them, but do you know what I mean? They're royals, they're in the limelight a lot, and they've managed to do that, and it was brave of them to do it, so we can do it too. I think they've set that bar for us, that actually it's okay, like it's going to be okay. And like you said, James, at the end, they look really happy for doing that. So it just goes to show like it's so worth it. Like, it might be tough, but just do it, be brave.
Yeah, and I think at the end of the day, I think people who have come out and maybe criticised her and stuff like that, I think, to be honest, they'd made a mind up on her before they'd even watched the interview. I don't think they actually listened to what she had to say or what Harry had to say. I think they'd made the mind up that they were going to come out and slate her no matter what she said, because in their mind have took Harry away from the country or whatever. Again, that's a choice that he's made, and I suppose only time will tell whether they'll be happy and stuff like that, and whether they get their happy ending over. I think they're now in America, aren't they? I think they went to Canada and they're now in LA. But I think I for one, hope that they do. But I think either way, they know that they've made the right choice for right now, because they know that choice has enabled them to live their life happily. So for me, that's the main thing. And the reason that I really wanted to cover it was because I didn't want any sort of young people that have watched that interview. It's been absolutely everywhere. And I know that I don't have the same opinion as all of my family. And by the sounds of it, Mim, you don't have the same opinion as all of your family. Hence why you've had some, obviously, debates within your household, the same as I have. And I think what I wanted to sort of get across to young people that are listening to us is there are people out there that will listen. And there is help out there, and you have that choice. So if you ever feel like you're in a dark place, please, please, please don't feel like you are going to be judged for saying that you are struggling. You've heard me come on here and say that I've been struggling at times. I think we've all come on here certain weeks and say that we've been struggling. There is nothing wrong with saying that you're not okay and asking people for help. So please still feel like that is something that you can do, and don't let idiots that come out and give abuse and everything like that when you do, put you off from doing it, because actually it's really brave to come out and ask for help. And there are people out there that can give you that help. So if you do feel that way, please shout out, and we're always here, and Mind and Childline and places like that, all places like that there if you feel like you need help. So please do reach out and get it, I think was the message that I wanted to get across.
100%, couldn't agree more.
Yeah.
And there are people that will believe you as well. And also you'd be surprised at how many people maybe feel similar to you or have felt similar to how you currently feel beforehand, that you can sort of build on common grounds with, you know. And, you know, they say a problem shared is a problem halved. So it's definitely better to speak and not bottle it up inside, man. People like Piers Morgan, just don't even try your best to not take notice of them, because one thing I've noticed is with mental health, or things in general actually, is people aren't always going to believe or understand if they've not been through it themselves. So, yeah, it's just not worth sort of, you know, stressing over even more when there's people that can't even relate to you anyway because they've not been through it themselves.
Yeah, definitely. Couldn't agree more, Dens. Right, that's it from us for this week. If you've got any questions or anything like that, please send them through to us and we will cover them next week for you. We'll be checking on you, Martine. Touch wood, you're going to be well and you're not going to have any symptoms from your vaccine. Fingers crossed for you. But other than that, guys, we hope you've enjoyed it again and we look forward to speaking to you again soon.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye. Take care.
Bye, guys.